Canes win. Canes win. Canes win. Great win over a rival on the road. Very, very good game. Shout out to Pyotr Kochetkov, made some plays. Shout out to Brent Burns, made some plays. Matter of fact, let's get this out of the way. Shout out to Brian yesterday on the show.
Yes.
During our first goal scorer predictions.
Brian from Holly Springs.
Predicted Burns in the first. Drilled it. That is an impressive one. That's not a layup right there. So credit to him. So there were a lot of good vibes. There should have been a lot of good vibes last night. Matter of fact, let's hear some of those good vibes. Rod Brind'amour's biggest takeaway from the win in Florida.
Well, let's start right. Our first period was really good. Probably should have been up by more than one, just the way we were playing. And they were going to have their push. They're too good, and they did. They got back into the game. But I thought we stuck with it. I mean, obviously we had a couple big saves, which we need. Right, that's the crucial part. It kept us in the game there, and then we got the go-ahead goal. So overall, I thought it was just good, solid 60-minute game, which we've played the last little stretch here. It's just we haven't been getting that one play here or there to push us over the top, and tonight we did.
All good. Why am I still left feeling unfulfilled? I hate when that happens. Right? Because sometimes you, especially in hockey, you can have a little puck luck, right? You can leave a game thinking we played better for the entire game and lost by 2. It's not even that. It's not even that. Because I think the Canes played better. I think the Canes were the better team on the ice. I think the Canes won the game, and they deserve to win the game. Why am I still feeling unfulfilled? I'll tell you why. I'm reconsidering one of my longest-held, albeit unpopular opinions about professional hockey. It's one that I don't really bring up that often because I know it starts a debate and I don't want to go down that path. But I've had this debate with a whole bunch of people, and I'm considering flipping sides. Which the people that I've dug my heels in against are going to go, really now after all that? I've always said the fighting in hockey is dumb. Always said it. Right, and part of me is because of the competitor thing. I'm always like, well, it's never good to go to the box. It's never good to willingly decide to give up a penalty. I never got it. I always thought the way you beat somebody that disrespects you, the way you answer back to somebody that breaks an unwritten rule or sometimes breaks a literal rule, plays a little dirty, the way you beat him is on the scoreboard. I've always said that. I say it about baseball. I don't like beanballs. I don't like throwing at somebody. I understand it is entertaining. That's always one of the arguments, right? Hey, people watch for it. I get that. But I played team sports and it was never necessary. So I never got why it was necessary in hockey. If it's not necessary in contact sports, right? It's not like I played volleyball with a net between it. Like other contact sports, it's not as necessary. I didn't like all the self-governing. This year's Canes team is making me rethink all of that. They might need to drop the gloves more. They may need to be more willing to drop the gloves more. And last night was one of those, right? Because every bit of logic in my brain says the Canes handled it the right way. Every bit of competitive spirit in my brain says the Canes handled it the right way. But on Slavin's goal, you heard the highlight to start the show. On Slavin's goal, right? KK, Jesperi Kokiniemi, tripped up, whatever you want to say, slid into the Bobrovsky. He's in an awkward position near the goal. And Matthew Tkachuk just kind of sat on him. I mean, leaned on him, popped him down into the ice, whatever you want to call it. It was a weird situation, and Tkachuk was bullying Kokiniemi a little bit. Now, Slavin scored the goal, right? It made it a different game late. The right move is exactly what the Canes did. The correct move is exactly what the Canes did, which is show some restraint. Right, a little pushing and shoving match, nothing crazy. Everybody kind of checks on each other, and they moved on. They went on to win the game. But this year's Canes team is making me consider going against all my better judgment. There was a momentary fake scrum there. I think they should have been a little bit more of the aggressor. I think that it goes. I'm having a hard time saying because it goes against everything I've argued my entire life. But Kokiniemi is a guy that needs to know everyone has his back. And the team, granted, while playing well, that's fine. But they've had moments where the spark disappears on them this season, and the spark being edge, fight, grit, whatever you want to call it. They need to show that they are willing to overcome whatever is necessary to have their guys back. If we give up a cheap goal because we're on the power play because somebody is defending their guy, cool. We'll all rally and get 2 goals back because we have to have our buddies back. And it's I don't even feel like myself saying it. But there is something about this team that just seems like everybody's too logical, that's an oxymoron. How can you be too logical? How can you be too smart? How can you be too intelligent? How can you get the big picture too much, but I have a little bit of it? I keep thinking back to this. And maybe it happened and we'll never know. But my favorite offensive lineman in my football career that I played with, and no disrespect to the rest, I had a bunch that I very, 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 am very, very fond of. But his name was Gino Gradkowski. Went on to win a Super Bowl with the Ravens. If there was ever a cheap shot or anything that could maybe be considered a cheap shot on me, if there was a roughing the passer, if there was a potential late hit, whatever it was, even if it was a clean hit and it was just a hard hit, when we're getting ready for the next play, he would just look at me and he would say, "Hey, what number was it?" And then it was really fun to watch film the next day because you'd watch the next 4 or 5, 6 plays. When he got an opportunity, that number, they got their head taken off legally. But he would make sure he handled it. That made me feel good, right? That made me feel like this guy has my back. That made me feel like I can focus on doing me as a quarterback, which is not the most physical position in the world. Every other position will tell you that. And there was somebody to handle that for me. Now, it's a little different in hockey because everybody's got to be able to defend yourself, right? There is no quarterback position that gets to just kind of, wear a different colored jersey in practice and not get touched. But that is a feeling that is lacking. Who's saying what number was it? And it was Tkachuk, by the way. No one has to ask who Tkachuk is.
Oh, they all knew.
You have your feelings of Tkachuk already. You have your history with Tkachuk already. It's if they had been more physical throughout, if they had been more edgy, gritty, sandpapery throughout the season, then I would assume that those conversations are happening. But last night it just seems like you can sit on a guy and there's no repercussions.
Well, after Slavin scored, Carrier came over and pushed Tkachuk off of him and got up in his face, and a scrum ensued afterwards.
The vibe I got was it was a hold me back, bro moment, right? Like we're all going to get here, we're going to scrum, and no one's actually going to do anything, and we all know from the very moment we get there, nothing's going to happen, and that's it's. This team is so talented, right? And so many of the guys, I'm waiting for that. I've been calling it avocado selfishness. Right? That like, no, I need to get this off my chest moment. I need to score a goal. I need to settle this score. I need to do this, and I need y'all to have my back. I know I said I've had a hard time saying it like 10 times already. I'm having a hard time explaining what it is, but it's just a feeling of the team, the enforcers, but they don't really, it's kind of a deal of the past. Like those guys are going to back me up even if I do something that's not like the analytical going to give us the best chance to win because I just got to do something. Have you seen the movie The Town?
Oh, yeah.
You need hey, I need you to go do something. We're going to hurt some people and I can't tell you anything about it.
Whose car are we taking?
Exactly. You need that. That's not like, is this going to benefit our bottom line? Is this going to be better for the end result? It's just like, no, all right, you got something you got to handle. We'll do whatever it takes to back you up. That's what I want to see from this team.
But there's time and place, though.
I agree.
Like, you just scored with 6 minutes left? Like, that's not the time and place.
I agree. But
right, but there's no but.
However is The guy in the town didn't say like, well, can we do this when we're more suitable for it? Like sometimes this is bad. This is a bad decision. I need you to have my back anyway. And by the way, this is like talking about it in relation to last night's game. That's just one, like it's a bigger thing than that, right? If you had been doing it when the situations pop up when you're up 4, if you'd been doing it when the situations pop up in the first period, I wouldn't feel unfulfilled by that. You know what I mean? Like, I need to see it at some point. But I want to be clear. I did say it was a great win at the beginning. That was my qualifier.